Hi, my name is Atticus Everett, and I am presenting my final project proposal for Architecture Studio 501 at Arizona State University with Professor Elena Canovas in the fall of 2024. The project is a mixed-use residential complex located in the Boyle Heights neighborhood near the heart of downtown Los Angeles. I'll go deeper into the results of our research later on, but going forward, I'll just ask you to keep in mind the concepts of connecting community, regenerating sustainability, and affordable housing access, which guided the design. The neighborhood is becoming more dense, and part of the plan to accommodate that density is to convert the light industrial area along the LA River, especially near the newly completed 6th Street Viaduct, into a mixed-use urban zone with more dense housing complexes. The building site for my project is at the boundary between the light industrial zone and a residential area of 2 and 3 unit buildings. I designed and researched in a group of 4 with my classmates Nick Geronimo, Kate Ball, and Jason Sanger, whose projects are visible here in light blue. Together, we tried to use the site as a passageway between the 2 areas of usage to enhance connectivity across this boundary. In our research, we found a lot of information on the current and planned usage areas within the neighborhood. And we also found out demographic information about the residents to try to construct a clear idea of who our tenants would be. And we kind of ongoingly distilled that research into basically design mandates, which I can let you read through here. But ultimately, the issue of affordable access to housing for the people within the community already, rather than attracting new people to the neighborhood, was important, as well as supporting kind of a community interreliance for domestic work. And then finally, one of our goals was to mitigate the acute effects of climate crisis and pollution in the area. So the design responds to these principles both programmatically and through orientation on the site. Visitors navigate into the public areas such as the commercial laundromat and co-work spaces around planted water collection basins on the site. In all, the complex has 36 units of housing, making the density just over 30 units per acre. There are 120 solar panels on the northmost building, providing about 1.3 kilowatts of power per unit on average. The plantings use members of the coastal sagebrush biome in an effort at low landscaping maintenance costs and to be a refuge for pollinators. The orientation optimizes natural light and capture of prevailing east and west winds for natural ventilation. Here is a view from inside the public program area on the ground floor. Porosity, semi-private green spaces, and orientation to the sun were balanced against unit density in the massing iteration phase. It was also important to not build too high and be imposing over the neighboring low-rise residences. Ultimately, a combination of the masses tested provided the best results. Multiple buildings allowed for passage between and through the site, as well as a stepped profile that can mesh with the different heights of the surrounding buildings. Circulation takes place on open air walkways shaded from public view by vertical louvers. And primary access is via stairs and elevators along the southwestern sides of the building, with additional stairs for egress. The shades work with elevated windows along the circulation side of the building to let in light and air, but maintain privacy. The circulation side of the building complex is cool and shaded. And here's a view from within the circulation core. lets light flood into the spaces during the winter months, but shades against the harsher summer sun. The ground floor of the southern building is oriented along a pedestrian walkway and can accommodate retail spaces, the renting of which partially offsets the building's maintenance costs. Each residential floor contains 4 of 5 unit types. The service cores of the 2 floor layout options are stacked vertically. On floors 3 and 4, residents can walk directly out onto private green roof space from their units along the circulation walks. The northernmost building has a bank of 120 solar panels. Drop ceilings run across the width of each unit, connecting the mechanical systems to vertical shafts near the circulation cores. This unit type is a studio, ideal for couples, seniors, or people working from home. This unit layout is more dense to accommodate a family with multiple generations. This unit has an extra front balcony for socializing with neighbors in the circulation area and has 2 expanded bedrooms with a shared private balcony. This one is bifurcated to accommodate privacy for 2 families that might be sharing domestic costs and labor by cohabitating. And this one is expanded to contain 4 private rooms to support groups of couples or individuals who need to share the costs of living. And here's a view from inside unit type 1 at different times of the year. Each unit has a south-facing balcony area to capture light and breezes, as well as provide an outdoor living space. Commercial and public areas are tucked below, while the residential levels in circulation are elevated. The structure is comprised of mass timber posts and beams stiffened with CLT shear walls embedded into the party walls of the units and commercial spaces. Bridges between are supported by CLT trusses. The vertical and wet cores align both vertically and laterally through the buildings. CLT panels also make up the floor slabs for each level. Cross-laminated timber is cheap to manufacture and assemble as a method of construction. The roof and wall insulation are thickened to increase heating and cooling system efficiency. Here's a structural buildup. The 3 buildings kind of seem to become one visual impression because the voids spanned by the bridges are obscured from most angles. And here's a view from one of those bridges. Here are some notes on designing the model for the 4th Street Bridge for our class study model. Thank you for your time. I'm including an extended bibliography of my research materials, not all of which appear directly in this presentation. I want to thank Professor Ian Dickinson and Professor Elena Canovas, and my team members Jason Sanger, Nick Geronimo, and Kate Ball for working with me on this project this semester. I hope you all have a great holiday break. Goodbye.